hate to say names, but at the same time, I think of it in the sense as if we were all letting our kids play in the neighborhood and there was an ice cream truck that came through that was like either doing something to the ice cream or giving our kids drugs, like, yeah, we should probably tell our neighbors, hey, just so you know, there's an ice cream truck that's doing this. And what are we all going to want to know? Of the 4,000 ice cream trucks that come through our neighborhood, which ice cream truck are you talking about? Which ice cream truck is it? So I do think it's important to share who it is. I feel like we would all want to protect our fellow actors from getting into something sticky like that. So in the Bible, we're told go to them and try to make it right. And if they won't listen, go get somebody else and go to them again and try to make it right. And then if they still won't listen, go to the church and go to them again and try to make it right. And my heart is they don't have anyone standing up for them. This other girl doesn't know anyone in the industry. They can be taken advantage of all day long and they have no one to help defend them. And my heart is not okay with that. So I did gather all the data. I reached out to, so they both either owed these customers their stuff that they paid for, their reel and the headshots, or they needed to refund them. Either way, you need to make it right. With all that data, I did go ahead and reach out. So this is kind of something that we can discuss as far as how do we avoid that kind of situation? We've got the red flags in the beginning, praying for discernment, asking our friends, like, hey, I don't know much about this person, but I see that you've done a film with them, checking out their IMDb. How was your interaction? How was your experience? And I was in something like that maybe last year. I was offered a lead role in a film and I had heard just a little bit about working with this person. So I reached out to my network of actor friends who had worked with this person. And I was like, hey, can you just tell me, confidentially, what was your experience like? After a few conversations, I realized I don't want to take the lead role in that film. So doing those kind of things can help you on the front end, not get stuck in that sticky situation. Another thing, get your stuff verifiable on paper. Having a phone call is great, but who can verify what was said? Make sure that you know what's expected. Like, am I getting a reel? And I'm getting headshots? And I'm getting this? Get it on paper. And then a date. When should I expect to see this stuff that we're exchanging money for? I had a contract recently, or a deal memo come through that said, you're getting a travel stipend. And I'm like, I know that there's a number on that travel stipend that we discussed, but it's not on paper. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to put that travel stipend number on my deal memo and I'm going to send it back to you. And another thing that was on my deal memo was you're scheduled for this many days of filming. And then it said dates may change. I was like, okay, dates may change. Does that mean dates may be added? Does that mean I'll have to film an extra 4 days at the same rate? Because that's not going to work for me. So I editing. What do you say, Sharon? I see your face. What'd you say? So I edited the deal memo and I said, 14 days. And then in parentheses, I put additional days, including half days at this rate. And that way I'm not going to be taken advantage of. You're not going to make me film for 3 more days, 5 more days and pay me the same rate that we discussed in the front end. If I'm going to film more, you're going to pay me more. So making sure that stuff is on paper, that stuff is solid and kind of what you all are agreeing to. Emily, jump in.
Did you have an attorney help you with that?
Mm-mm. No. So they send the deal memo and it has all the stuff and I'm just supposed to sign it. I'm a reader, so I will actually literally read every piece that you're sending me. And a lot of times, you guys, if they have gotten to the point where they're sending you a contract, they've done the auditions, they've done the callback, they've negotiated their rate, they've done all this stuff, you can likely make a change to a contract and they're not going to just toss in the towel and be like, okay, we're not working with her. If it's a minor change and it's not going to totally throw off production, feel free to make edits that you're comfortable making. Yes, Sarah.
You were talking earlier about you had a production come to you, you were signed on to do this film, and then you started asking for like referral almost, like what's your experience like? And I just want to encourage everyone that the directors do this too. I've done casting directing before, and I know that there are directors who are like, I'm going to go ask all of these other directors who have worked with this actor how it was to work with him. So if you're feeling guilty at all about doing that, don't, because people are doing it about you all the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then just a little, just for clarification, I didn't actually sign on and then start doing research. I was offered and then I started doing research and never signed on. But Corey and then Emily.
Is your agent sending you your contract and then you're going through it yourself and then giving it back to the agent or directly to whomever you're involved with? Like, How is that process
Yeah.
actually happening?
So my agent does the negotiating with the filmmaker, and then the filmmaker puts it on paper, sends it to my agent. My agent reviews it, and then she's like, "Okay, here it is for you to sign. Go ahead and review it, and if everything's cool, we'll send it back." So it kind of goes like filmmaker to my agent, agent sends it to me to sign, I preview it, send it back to my agent, who sends it back to the filmmaker.